然后呢，新疆大火啊，还有白土革命这个。
In 2024, China witnessed a series of bold acts of defiance against tyranny. In Tianjin, a provocative cart displayed anti-communist slogans, catching the public's attention. On January 30th, amidst the bustling traffic, a red sedan prominently showcased a large sign on its rear windshield. The incendiary message read, "Annihilate fascism, freedom belongs to the people, eradicate judicial corruption." Below these fiery lines, ominous text warned, "The CCP can't escape the impending disaster of a dying party." Seizing the opportunity of the Central Party losing authority, I can strike with precision. This directly implicated the CCP, suggesting a looming crisis leading to its downfall. The phrase "disaster of a dying party" was highlighted by the vehicle owner. Netizens hailed this individual as a fearless hero akin to Punli Fa. However, grave concerns were voiced for the safety of the car owner, accompanied by stark reminders to stay vigilant. Additionally, some netizens speculated on potential repercussions, with chilling comments about the GPU card, subtly hinting at the ominous prospect of retaliation or organ harvesting. Intense confrontation unfolds as Chinese special police raid village for ashes. At the beginning of the year, defiant acts against CCP's oppressive rule erupted in Guizhou, Jiangxi, and Beijing. On January 9th, in Wintermelon Ridge of Shui Village, Chuntan Street, Anlong County, southwest Guizhou, hundreds of villagers vehemently resisted the government's authoritarian demands. They clashed fiercely with armed police and special forces, who sought to centralize the burial of remains or ashes forcefully. The confrontation resulted in the expulsion of the police from the village, with outraged villagers condemning them as government lackeys and bandits. Feng Yu, a local villager, revealed to the Epoch Times on January 16 that the government had enforced cremation since 2017. However, on October 26 of that year, bodies were forcibly cremated due to a shortage of villagers. On January 9, around 3 a.m., a sizable contingent of riot police and special forces barged into the village, searching for ashes in the homes of the deceased aggressively. Their aggressive entry led to the assault of several villagers, starting with an intoxicated individual, followed by an attack on a pregnant woman and damage to villagers' vehicles. Feng Yu vividly described the villagers' response, stating, "On that day, the police targeted the households where there had been a death. If you attack our farmers, we will retaliate. We used stones, bricks, and clubs to chase the police away." In our village, there were also 200 to 300 villagers. Later, when the police realized they couldn't win, they ran to hide in a villager's house and took a local child as a hostage. Despite the hostage situation, the unwavering villagers eventually forced the police out, successfully preserving their traditional burial practices. The underlying cause triggering the explosive coup in China at the onset of 2024, CCP's authoritarian. China faces a grim 2024 with economic downturn, surging youth unemployment, and escalating public discontent, sparking widespread concerns among global observers. Chinese scholar Feng Chongmi, based in Australia, predicts a stagnant economy, worsening youth unemployment, and a surge in grassroots resistance. Feng emphasizes the absence of economic improvement, deepening public discontent. He highlights the economy's drastic decline, particularly affecting jobless youth, intensifying resentment. As economic recovery remains elusive and savings deplete, the once feasible lying flat lifestyle becomes impractical, prompting diverse grassroots resistance methods. Feng warns of severe and urgent livelihood issues, predicting widespread and unpredictable forms of social resistance amid depleting resources. Rampant coups and fierce opposition against the oppressive CCP regime are erupting throughout mainland China. Returning to the heroic figure mentioned in the Tianjin upheaval incident, Peng Lifei orchestrated a daring coup in Beijing during the CCP's 20th National Congress in 2022. Xi Jinping's extended term and harsh epidemic measures fueled discontent. On October 24, Peng Lifei, arrested for incitement, posted provocative content, including images from the Beijing Si Tong Bridge protests. Banners boldly demanded food over nucleic acid tests, freedom over lockdowns, dignity over lies, reform over the Cultural Revolution, votes over a leader, choosing citizenship over slavery. One defiant banner called for Xi Jinping's removal. In the aftermath of the 20th National Congress and the Si Tong Bridge protests, public discontent in China has reached a boiling point. Open anti-communist protests have resurfaced, with banners featuring Xi Jinping torn apart at Beijing's bridges. A viral video from October 27 captures the defacement of a propaganda banner with Xi Jinping's image on a pedestrian overpass in Beijing, where an individual systematically damages the display, ripping apart Xi Jinping's name. The act of tearing down the political propaganda received widespread praise online, with netizens hailing it as a resurgence of the tank man in Beijing and celebrating the emergence of heroes in this era of significant change. Following the conclusion of the 20th National Congress, large-scale protests erupted in Xi'an, Tibet, where masses took to the streets demanding an end to lockdown measures, leading to confrontations with the police. Videos depict a significant gathering of protesters on the streets of Xi'an on October 26. Despite a heavy police presence with shields, officials attempting to address the protesters were ignored as the crowd voiced their anger, shouting demands for food and a better life. Another video shows chaotic scenes as protesters continue to gather on the streets, resisting the oppressive rule of the CCP even as darkness falls. The brutality of the Chinese Communist police has sparked immense public outrage. Netizens expressed their indignation, describing the scenes as a stark portrayal of the harsh reality. In 2022, a video circulated online depicting police brutality in Nanjing, Jiangsu province, where officers openly assaulted a civilian. The footage reveals a civilian engaging in a heated argument with the police before suddenly being tackled from behind. Multiple officers press him to the ground, forcefully restraining him. One officer pulls out a thin rope and binds the man's hands. The violent scene prompted widespread public fury, with comments questioning the difference between these police actions and those of organized crime. In 2018, a woman expressed her discontent in Shanghai by splashing ink on a propaganda poster featuring Xi Jinping. As a result, she was forcibly admitted to a psychiatric hospital. The omnipresent surveillance cameras and facial recognition systems in public places across China leave protesters with no escape. After the Si Tong Bridge protest, Beijing significantly heightened security measures, deploying additional police and volunteers on many bridges, referred to as bridge watchers. However, images circulating on overseas social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram depict protest slogans appearing in areas not covered by surveillance cameras, such as public toilets or bathrooms. In one instance, graffiti in a Beijing cinema restroom reads "Anti-dictatorship, anti-nucleic acid." Another graffiti in a public bathhouse in Sichuan declares, "The spirit of 8,964 will never be suppressed," referring to the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre. Some protesters resort to covert methods, reportedly using Apple iPhone's AirDrop feature to send protest images to other users' phones in subway cars or on campuses. Fueled by the Si Tong Bridge protest, the anti-Xi movement is sweeping across China and beyond. Peng Lifei's bold protest and courage have ignited a flame of inspiration among countless Chinese citizens, sparking a growing wave of awakening and defiance against the tyrannical rule of the Chinese communists. Galvanized by Peng Lifei's example, the people of China are finding diverse and assertive ways to voice their discontent with the oppressive CCP regime. Emulating Peng Lifei, a banner reading "Overthrow the CCP" appears at Wanda Plaza in Jinan, Shandong. The Si Tong Bridge incident marks the beginning of a blank slate revolution. Recently, a video from last year surfaced overseas, depicting an electronic banner on the north wall of a building at Wanda Plaza in Jinan on the evening of February 21, 2023, displaying "Overthrow the Communist Party, overthrow Xi Jinping" in red on a white background. The high-foot traffic area witnessed this spectacle, prompting authorities to deploy a large police force, arresting numerous individuals recording the incident. The mastermind behind this protest was dissident Si Tong, who has since left China. Si Tong, the projector of the Wanda Plaza protest, stated, "I was at Wanda Plaza, where I displayed a banner reading 'Overthrow Xi Jinping, overthrow the Communist Party.'" Planning and executing this protest took approximately a month. Chai meticulously measured and rented a building at the right angle, installing equipment and adjusting its position until satisfied. Using a laser engraving machine, he carved the words onto a lens, replacing it in its original position. Chai Tong, driven by the Si Tong Bridge incident, the Xinjiang fire, and inhumane events, especially during the chaotic pandemic response, expresses profound disappointment with the loss of lives without preparation, seeing it as a blatant disregard for human life. Operating a real estate leasing business in Beijing and Shandong, the 3-year pandemic lockdown rendered him unable to operate, causing substantial losses. Fed up with the extreme pandemic policies, Chai Tong's disillusionment with the CCP deepened. Its response reflects that the entire government is a massive, inefficient machine, prioritizing political considerations over human lives. So, in this regard, I believe that life takes precedence over everything, including politics, conflicting with my values. If my life is disregarded, and so many people's lives are treated without any compassion in chaotic circumstances, I question the need for such politics in this country. After facing hardships, Chai Tong reached the United States, enjoying the right to freedom of speech. During Taiwan's presidential election this year, he protested outside the CCP consulate in Los Angeles. He seeks to remind the Taiwanese people that choosing their president is their own affair but should not be deceived by the CCP. As the only seat of civilization in the Republic of China, maintaining the status quo challenges the legitimacy of the CCP regime and offers hope for China. This spirit of resistance has spread overseas, with slogans and posters appearing on university campuses and landmarks in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and other countries. A poster at Central St. Martin's in London reads, "Get off the bus at the station, resign in disgrace, and goodbye Jinping." Some Chinese citizens in France even held a satirical performance titled "Celebrating Chairman Xi's Enthronement." A month after the Si Tong Bridge incident, a banner supporting Guizhou appeared on a highway bridge in the United States, and on November 12, Los Angeles residents displayed a 10-meter-long banner on a highway bridge in a Chinese district, expressing solidarity. Students studying abroad in the United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, and other places simultaneously voiced their support. Democracy activist Guizhou, through X, called for dozens to gather in front of the Chinese consulate in Los Angeles, expressing support for the banner protest at Si Tong Bridge in Beijing. Guizhou, in an interview with the Central News Agency, emphasized that expressing political demands with banners is normal in any country, but, under the rule of the Chinese government, this act not only leads to arrests but also poses a threat to life. Being overseas and enjoying freedom of speech, he feels the responsibility to stand up and support. He mentioned that his parents were subjected to political persecution by the CCP, leading him to seek political asylum in the United States 2 years ago. Mr. Jie Jian, the youth minister of the Chinese Democratic Party and head of the Los Angeles Democratic Movement, has long organized democratic resistance activities and has been targeted multiple times by overseas Chinese Communist Party forces. Currently, he is imprisoned for organizing protests against Xi Jinping in San Francisco. Human rights organizations and conscientious individuals are deeply concerned about Mr. Jie's situation. Dialogue China, China Action Fund, China Law Observation, Citizen Court, Light Media, Global Hong Kong Support Alliance, Overthrow Xi, Save the Country, Emerald Movement, Chinese Women's Rights, and Chinese Democratic Education Foundation have jointly donated and initiated fundraising efforts to cover Mr. Jie's legal and action expenses. The current pledged amount is $6,200. Let the brave continue their journey forward. Peng Lifei has spoken the hearts of millions of Chinese people. In addition to expressing support today, in recent days, posters supporting Peng Lifei have been posted on campuses in Southern California and several cities where Chinese residents live in the Los Angeles area, hoping to awaken more people to recognize the true nature of the CCP. Increasing public discontent. Why has New Year's Eve become taboo for the CCP? On October 25 last year, the Chinese State Council released the holiday schedule for 2024, designating statutory holidays from the first day to the 8th day of the Chinese New Year, February 10th to 17th. Surprisingly, New Year's Eve on the 30th day, February 9th, was not given a holiday, causing surprise and dissatisfaction. Mainland residents believe New Year's Eve and remove Xi have the same pinyin shu Xi, and the decision not to have a holiday on that day is seen as an attempt to avoid this association. Some say, next year, according to the lunar calendar, is the year of the dragon, considered an ominous year. Celebrating on New Year's Eve might help remove the disasters of the dragon year, and even why are there disasters? Who caused them? It's the result of authoritarianism and tyranny.